And it's good to have you back with us. Sports batteries on hand, plywood on the floor, pupils on their knees planting. Well, at least that was the sight that greeted our news team at Noka MA Basic School in the Eastern Region, beginning season 3 of our School of Shame series. We tell you that story, touching one of how Euince Agyapong was transferred to teach in a non-existent school in Noka. This is also a piece about how vehicular knockdowns has for years forced parents in Noka to prevent their children from going to school. A story by Emmanuel Chiveno.
In the heart of the Eastern Region lies Noka, a colorful farming community that holds a tale of determination, resilience, and a hunger for education. But in this community, a silent struggle exists. Noka, with its warm-hearted people, lack a fundamental pillar for its children, a school. For years, children trekked several kilometers to distant communities to access education. But in their quest to quench their thirst for knowledge, they get knocked down by speeding vehicles. As a result, many parents stop their children from going to school.
Sometimes I had a school called Obi or to me say Chio no Gina Quanim, na can and Sujina say chain. Me mammy, and the baby, I have quantity dear my school for a baby. Nancy and Cromwell see Obi or quine, so I had a can a bono and call lamp penny for yea and ha carbo only within the dim coded flat. You know, can't say, aye.
Young pen for crack cabo boy. A beau bonitin at a toe. A bank of Mama Yambidia, yes, then, young person of friend, which I can Macobium.
Meet Euince Agyapong, a trained teacher. In May 2023, she requested to be transferred to teach in the Eastern Region. That was the only way to be close to home and take care of her aged parents. Euince was excited when her request was approved, and she had been transferred to Noka MA Basic School. Her excitement soon fades when she discovered the Noka Basic School does not exist.
I seek for assurance in Sawoma Dweji Municipal, and I was given Noka Primary School. So it was Noka MA Primary School. That was what was on the letter. So I proceed and I had the release. So this academic year, that is 2023-2024 academic year, that was when I was released. So right after I had to bring my document to the municipal. So when I got there, I had to pass by the school to see where the school is located and how the place is. But when I came, when I met the town folks, I asked, I'm coming to Noka, and they told me the school is not yet completed. So when they told me that, I was surprised.
I had the information that a teacher was posted to the school. So I quickly informed the chief and the people of the town so that we can organize our children to start with the school. And that is what we have done. That is why you can see pupils over here. Now we are not schooling in the school building. It's somebody's chapel that the president has offered us that we should be here until the room is completed.
This is the school Euince has been posted to teach. An uncompleted 6-unit classroom block, a Get Fund emergency project.
The road over here is a major road in Sawam Adesu to Cape Coast and Asamankese. So we thought it twice to establish the school so that those accidents will be avoided.
Sometimes when I sit and think about it, I wonder, because if there is no school, so why do you then post me? But sometimes I just conclude that it's the will of God. Maybe God knows why He sent me here. Because of the kids, maybe He knew I have to come around and start, so the rest will help me. So I'm just holding on to that. Sit, stand, hands up.
About 6 other teachers posted to Noka Basic School didn't return to the community after their first visit. But Euince Agyapong was determined to rise above the difficulties and make an impact in the lives of these young ones. Let the mission begin, knocking on one door to the other and inspiring dreams. She gathered the children. With a generosity of heart, Maranatha Power Ministry offered their structure.
It wasn't easy though, but I got help from the assemblyman and the pastor who gave us this temporary structure, that is Reverend Euince Agyapong. I had help from one man called Euince. He was the first person when I came to the place. He told me the structure will be ready very soon, so don't worry. And a lot of your colleagues have been around, they have come and checked the place, so don't worry. They will join you soon. And a lot of people are here, so you shouldn't worry at all. So those people, their words of encouragement, it brought positive vibes, and I decided that this thing I have to start.
Every morning, these learners embark on a symbolic journey to a bright future, carrying chairs to this makeshift classroom. In less than 2 months, enrollment increased, and so did the workload on Euince.
On the 4th October this year, we started with admissions. And that day, I had 7 pupils admitted. And day in, day out, admissions increase. And currently, we have 107 kids. It's not easy. It's not easy, especially those younger ones who are now starting school. It's not easy. It's not easy for you to get them their concentration. They are hyperactive kids. So sometimes I have to be going around, catching them, letting them sit in between those in the upper classes. Sometimes if I see they are disturbing, I just have to let them sit beside the upper class pupils so that they can monitor them whilst I teach, so it won't distract the class. Looking at the nature of the place and the workload, sometimes it's not easy. It's not easy.
In this shared space, children from ages 3 to 15 sit side by side, driven by a collective hunger for education.
Before we learn the new letter,
Euince, with dedication etched on her face, navigates the challenges of a single-space classroom. The jamming of learners into one space and the workload makes it difficult for Euince to follow the Ghana Education Service curricula.
For now, I have not started with the curriculum yet. I have not. Because if I say I am going by the curriculum, it's 6 weeks. And 6 weeks, we have different levels. We have different levels among us, so I can't. If we were more than that, I can go strictly according to the curriculum. But because I'm here alone, I can't do that. So I just pick the general thing. They all have to know, then we discuss.
You're in class 1, class 2, and class 3. Not class 4 and class 5. Classes, more classes. I anyway one year and you see on the back when you be a try the corner many way throw no cha. No this room to you feel no this range. Yannick KD Funa is saying, I say, Kepese aban be nim tem na efo na class no bi akọ class.
Na kwan bia so yim se obobua no. Ama ya pe asodan mi nsa se nkora wonkom ansa. Na kusim kwa aban bobodan so.
In the community, I discussed with them and they said they have asked the churches in the community to give them their building. So if the teachers are around, we would have divided into classes and moved to the various church buildings.
These beginners are practicing how to write the alphabet. With their bare hands, they write the letters in the sand. This may appear unconventional, but their facilitator believes this helps to awaken the learners' imaginative minds.
We kids, we have some kind of imagination. So as you imagine, oh, this is how the person is writing, this is how the hand or the finger is turning. So as you picture that in your mind, you will write on the ground as you imagine it in your head. That is why sometimes when they open their books, what they imagined, that is what they write. So that is how when you want to start with writing, you go by air, writing on the individual's back, on the ground, then to the book. If you have tables, we'll be writing on the tables and on the slates, but our slates are few.
Call this a trip back in time or resourcefulness. For these young minds, however, these spoilt batteries are their best bet for a blackboard.
I started with the slates. Someone brought a slate, so I started with the slate. I write on the slate, then they copy. So it was later the community gave us a plywood to use as board. So we have to use the used batteries. So we mixed it with water and we darkened the plywood to be used as board.
It is time for lunch, and anywhere, including the floor, serves as a dining table. And when nature calls, these children have to run to their various homes.
Let's go to toilet. And then Melequine. Melequine. Yeah.
What do you go there?
Those who cannot make the treacherous journey back home queue to use this unsafe latrine at the church.
Me, myself, I am scared of it. So sometimes, I quite remember one of the learners, she was crying, she wanted to poop. So I had to tell the senior sister and sending her there. When I realized they just got a rubber bag and they just let her ease herself and they tied it and went to put it in.
From my political experience, the school will be opened before next year academic year, because definitely it's the government in power who is doing it. We are going to vote by next year December, so they need to commission this school to show the community that they are working before next year academic year.
I say, Kunyano for children, near the abasi, your bread, your brands, and now foot through every year. One and talk and now foot through the in suit of cry, bit me a shame. It's a swab by some boy and dinosaur mind.
Kepese aban be nim tem na efo na class no bi akọ class.
They have potentials. Was being with them, I have seen some like to draw. Some also they are creative, and others also academically they are good. So I am hoping if the building is ready, we get enough teachers, we get learning materials, teaching materials. Definitely they will realize their potential and they will get far.
Me a nurse, na meboa ma me papa no me nuanom no mo o my Ghana na na me sa won yarewa.
As they pledge their loyalty to their motherland, Ghana, these pupils are also saying a silent prayer for their school building to be completed. But until that prayer is answered, Euince, Helenes, and in fact the entire Noka community will continue to dream of a brighter tomorrow.
And indeed, may their prayers be answered. But it's the start of the third series we're running in terms of the School of Shame. I want to bring in now Dr. Peter Antipati, Executive Director, IFS Ghana, joining us via Zoom. Great to have you with us. This is just a one-off. Of course, we know of the numerous examples across the country where facilities are either abandoned or there's no fund simply to continue them. Why do we have this phenomenon actually continuing within the education space?
Good afternoon, and thank you for your question. Before I try to answer your question, let me make a very important observation that I've made. I've watched the documentary this morning, but sitting back and watching it again, I've realized that this town is not a village. It's not an isolated place where you will say that they don't have access to road. It's on a major road going to Draso Adeso, that particular road. Now, if such a town that's got such a good road can be left in such a situation where the kids cannot access basic education, then we are in big trouble as a country. Because normally you see some of these things with villages and then settlements that are just coming up. So you will not be so much surprised when you have some of these infrastructure challenges. But when you have a town like, I think the name is Noka, on a major stretch in somewhere Ades Road, and they cannot boast of a single primary school, and you listen to the lady and she's telling you that it is when she started admission that she alone is handling over 100 students mixed up with children from early grade up to basic 5, 6, and some of them might even qualify to be in the junior high school. It is a big shame to our education sector. It is a big shame to the leaders that manages our education. It is a big shame to the people that are supposed to know that there is a town just by the roadside and things like this are happening. You see, let me come back to your question. This is happening because we do not, I've said this in the morning, we do not have a plan that seeks to address the various infrastructure challenges that we are experiencing in our education sector, especially at the basic school level. Every district is supposed to have a district education office. That district education office is in charge of the education in that particular district. They have what we call the CISOs. Previously, we used to call them the circuit supervisors. These CISOs visit all schools in the district. They write reports on these schools and they send it to the district office, forwarded to the regional office, and then to the national or the headquarters. So if these people at the district offices are doing their work well, they would have noticed that the MA school that they are posting the lady there does not have a complete infrastructure. And in fact, they do not have students. It means that they do not do their work, or they are not doing their work well, or they are doing it, but when they send information to the relevant authorities, to the region and to the national, these people seem not to even care about the plight of these the people in this particular village. And this is what is happening. There's no plan to provide these kinds of infrastructure for students that are for places that are not having these basic schools. And we keep on experiencing some of these things, especially when we have a town that is so close to a major road, and it's a very busy road. And I'm so surprised that this is happening in 2023 in Ghana.
I see. So where do we start off from in terms of finding the solution? It's almost as though it's become a cyclical problem. We keep going round and round. It's almost always infrastructure.
I think we should start from a broader policy perspective. Okay. I have said that we seem to practice this kind of decentralization where when it comes to the setting up of the school and then the supervision and other things, we say it is at the doorsteps of the district. But then the resources to move these schools to a level that we can be comfortable and say that these children are getting the kind of education that they need. It's centralized. It's with the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Finance. So you cannot say that you are running a decentralized system and blame the local authorities that they are not taking control of the education in the various districts. We need to now redesign our policy. And for me, we need to start implementing a partial decentralization system where some amount of money is moved to the various district levels for them to use it to at least improve the infrastructure and also provide the basic resources that these schools need. Then those that need more attention, the national or the headquarters can come in. Again, I have also said that we need to develop a deprived school policy, that is targeted at ensuring that all our deprived schools, let's say within the next 5 or 6 years, we are going to ensure that these schools are provided with the resources that they need. If we don't do some of these things, if we don't do these targeted kind of interventions, we will continue to have these things, and thanks to joining, we will continue to see them happening always.
Doc, grateful. We'll reconnect again because this is just the beginning of a series of conversations to start on building and, of course, improving our schools of shame. But we take you somewhere to the German North area because the MP for the area in the Bono region, Frederick Yawahinkwa, is requesting a parliamentary probe into a chieftaincy dispute in his constituency that led to the death of at least one person at Sampa. The police, according to reports, have arrested 7 persons who allegedly fired indiscriminate gunshots in the area on November 30 during the installation of the paramount chief of Sampa, which killed 1 and left 7 severely injured. In a statement on the floor, the MP also demanded the Minister for National Security and also Minister for Interior to brief the House on this development.
Persons sustaining various degrees of injuries on the 30th of November 2023 in Sampa. On the eve of the program, the dissatisfied party, according to the information at hand, decided to disrupt the program, which the police resisted after several hours of persuasion. This led to an exchange of guns between the dissatisfied party and the police, which resulted in the death of an innocent person and several others sustaining various degrees of wounds. Mr. Speaker, what saddens my heart is that when the innocent person was gunned down by the police, a good Samaritan lady went to his rescue and she was equally gunned in her arm. Subsequently, several other persons who wanted to come to his aid were warned by the police to stay off, or else they would equally be gunned down, including the deceased's own children. They left the deceased unattended for hours until he finally died in the scorching sun. Mr. Speaker, was this situation not avoidable? Mr. Speaker, I pray your outfit to invite the regional minister, the RegSec of Blue Region, and the National Security Minister, the Interior Minister, to appear before this August House and answer questions to what led to the demise of the innocent person and the injuries sustained by the other person, since they assured me that the situation was under control and they could contain the excesses. Also, they should assure this August House of measures they are putting in place to restore peace and calm without aggravating the situation, taking into account the polarized nature of the situation in Sampa. Mr. Speaker, I once again pray your outfit to constitute a committee to investigate the cause of this unfortunate and avoidable situation in Sampa. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well, the MP for the German area there addressing the floor on happenings in the area. You're watching the polls on the Joy News channel. We're taking a breather. We'll be right back.